Hello, this is Belinda Colleen back for the second part of a talk or video that I was giving about aesthetic sourcing to use in your reselling. It turns out, and this is a wonderful thing, the first one I did, I gave the most popular brands, and the second one, or the second four most popular brands, although one of them has really peaked up. But I'm trying to give you information that has really helped me a lot. I'm only telling you things that I know work because they worked for me. And I'm no genius. I didn't figure it out on my own. Someone else turned me on to them. But they've made a huge difference in my sourcing. I have to admit, sourcing by brand only is a tough way to go unless you're just in an unbelievable market or you just have incredible sourcing spots or resources that I don't have. So, or maybe I just don't know about, and I'm always ready to hear some new ideas. But I do think the nice thing about sourcing with keywords and that relate to aesthetics is a fabulous way to really open up your sourcing. And there is a real shift for people that shop that, especially the younger generations, they don't always shop by brands. They're not as brand oriented as people from my generation, I think, and even people younger than me. The kids in their 20s and 30s, while they certainly have their favorite brands, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, I want to see all the boho tops in size medium that are blue." So they'll use certain words that relate to aesthetics that they really care about and really want, and then they'll start looking through things. I'm not saying brand sourcing is dead. It really isn't. But by using aesthetics, it allows you to buy a lot more items for reasonable prices on days when you can't find the brands. They're just not out there. But the beauty of the shift in the younger generations is that it's not as important. And it's been borne out in, I don't want to bore you. I said this on my last video, but I don't know. I'm sure there are a lot of new people here, and it bears repeating. Shane, or Sheen, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. I don't know if I've heard anyone say it. I've just read so much about it. They came blasting into the United States as fast fashion, and they just focused on trends, and their name is not synonymous with high quality or anything like that. But they came in and they saw an opportunity. And their great success in the United States marketplace proves my point that people are looking for trends as much, if not more, than they're looking for brands. Now, I think everybody's different. I know with myself, there are certain things where I'm very much brand conscious. And then there's a lot of things I'm not, I'm real brand conscious about jeans because the fit is so, it's got to be just right to be a great pair of jeans and to look good on you and feel good on you. But I'm a lot more easygoing with tops or free-flowing pants. Anything that's doesn't need to fit me perfectly, where it's kind of more of a login look or a boho or something like that, where fit is kind of negotiable and more like one size fits all almost, not really, but let's face it, if it's a drawstring, it's a completely different kind of thing to think about than if it's a pair of tight-fitting jeans or jeans where everything's got to be just right. Anyway, don't want to beat a dead horse. Let's go into it. I'm going to talk about 4 more keywords and things that you should be looking for while you're out there sourcing. And I hope this will just make your sourcing so much more fun and so much more profitable. Okay, workwear. Now, I brought a few things out to show you to back things up, but workwear is the only one that I don't really have any workwear right now. I will admit that I don't always source that out, but when it knocks me out, I have sold a lot of work boots. And when I see them, I grab them. because they sell like crazy. And some of the work boots you should look for are Red Wing. They're really, really popular. 511 tactical boots are also very popular. And then, of course, there's Carhartt that everybody knows about, and people will buy that as workwear too. But let's face it, the nice thing about workwear is that it doesn't change. The trends don't matter. Everybody that, works in certain kinds of jobs, they need this stuff. And it's a large percentage of the population. And they're looking for it all the time. And I've actually been kind of surprised. I've sold some men's work boots to women. I sold a pair of men's work boots to a woman who was a firefighter. And I was like, wow, I just didn't think about it too much that, so women are buying men's boots. I don't know if men are buying women's boots, but of course they were men's boots and I had the men's size on them, but she probably already knew, and she thanked me and was really sweet and sent me a thank you note. And that's the only reason I knew that she was a female that bought men's boots. But when you think about it, there are a lot of people, they need certain types of clothes, and you need to be on the lookout for them. Duluth fire hose pants are another thing to be on the lookout for. And the weird thing is, a lot of these types of things don't have to be in perfect condition. I'm not suggesting that you sell a lot of stuff that's in terrible condition, but sometimes they don't care about a little hole here or a little hole there or something that's not perfect. I think as long as they're still usable. And of course, if you're like me, if I know they're not perfect, or if I see something late in the game, which I always is always upsetting, but it happens, I'll always, of course, disclose it in the listing and the description, but I try to even put it in the title. And then I give them a price break on it because it's got a little issue with it. But anyway, workwear is a great area, so don't miss it. I'm not saying you should dedicate your whole store to it, but when you see the stuff, pick it up, because it's always going to be in demand. And that's the nice thing about certain types or categories. It's always in demand. Okay, going to a whole nother area, which is probably on the other side of the spectrum, old money. Now, last week I talked about preppy, and preppy and old money are sort of alike, maybe a little bit different, but old money is elegant, quiet luxury, understated. You're not going to see people with bright colors that are like, look at me, look at me. That's not the kind of fashion it is. The good thing about old money fashion is that when you buy it, you don't have to worry about it going out of style. It's not going to go out of style. People's grandparents bought it, their parents bought it, and they're buying it, and their kids are going to buy it. It's a certain class of people. I'm not in that class. But I have to admit, I think it's beautiful if you can afford it. But fortunately, you don't always have to buy, Burberry or Chanel or, Louis Vuitton or some of those real high-end brands. There are second tier and third tier and fourth tier brands that like that aesthetic. And a lot of people like that. And I would consider that kind of more preppy wear, like Brooks Brothers, and Banana Republic is a mall brand that has a lot of items that are in that style, where it's kind of understated luxury. It's neutral colors. It's timeless classic designs. Talbots for women, Eileen Fisher, also good examples of that type of style. Of course, Eileen Fisher and Talbots have other things in their line too, but they have a lot of this kind of old money, conservative wear. And so if you know what to look for, and I think you probably do, the thing that most of us grew up, even if you just watch it on TV or you just have friends that happen to be, more of the country club set than you are, that's the look you're looking for. It's not flashy. It's just very timeless. And I do have some things to show you for that, for old money. And a lot of it's fabrics too. They're looking for cashmere, they're looking for silk, they're looking for 100% wool, the better wools. They're looking for the fabrics that are considered luxury fabrics and high-end fabrics. Silk scarves, perfect example, kind of understated, but with a little, it's, you know, not just real one color, but it can be. I know a lot of people, a lot of women love white cashmere scarves and they'll wear them all winter. That I would say people that fit in that category, but that's one example. Is scarves are sort of timeless. Silk scarves are worn a lot. And forgive me, I don't think this has been pressed yet, but polka dots, timeless, elegant. A lot of women that I say fit in the old money category. They might wear this with a linen, and this is more of a warmer weather wear, with a linen beige blazer that's lined, of course. I'd say that's totally old money. When you think old money, you might want to think about people like, I'm trying to think, you know, a lot of the royalty, you know, like Prince Diana, maybe. You could think about just people from old money families that have, you know, they've passed it down through generations. A lot of the, you know, Vanderbilts and people like that, you know, they definitely probably are wearing these types of old money fashions. And of course, the men are wearing blue blazers. And I always look for the ones with the gold buttons. Those seem really popular. And of course, just a basic blue blazer. I think every man you'll ever meet, even men that aren't old money, will have one. But the ones that have money will have them in the best materials and they'll wear them all the time. So that's something to think about. Also, old money. I don't know if you remember this, but every woman needs a classic black dress. You can wear a jacket over it, but it's a nice dress that you know, and it looks real good. In the summer, you might not want, you could still wear a jacket over it because of air conditioning, but it's just classic cut. This will be in style forever. And, you know, there was a time when everybody talked about, oh, you've got to have a little black dress. Well, people from the old money school or whatever, they still always have a little black dress in their closet. And this is an example of something. It's more of a material thing, but it's also a classic piece. It's just a really nice cashmere sweater, which for this time of year is great. And really, if you're up north or you're in some of the cooler areas, they get cool at night, you can wear cashmere sweaters are nice and light. You can wear them really spring, fall, and winter. And in some areas of the country, you could probably wear them in the summer, but it's just light. It's a gray neutral color. Every color I showed you is neutral. And that seems to be a key component of the old money look. But that is a key word you can use for elegant and understated pieces that are classic and timeless. And you'll do well with that. And the nice thing about it is, just like the workwear, just a little different, totally a different look, of course, but always needed. You can't go wrong. You know, I mean, whereas with some of the other types of items that the kids are buying that are trends, they go in, they go out, they go in, they go out. You know, you might buy something and all of a sudden it's worthless. It's 6 months later, which is kind of upsetting. So I think the more you can get in the timeless areas, the better off you are. And the ones that you're more comfortable with. I mean, as an older woman that has a lot of friends that wear clothes like this, I'm very comfortable with it, you know, and the whole preppy look I was very comfortable with that. The school I went to was kind of conservative. Everybody dressed like that. So I was pretty comfortable with it. And so it's an area that I feel like I just kind of get. Okay, the third one, and this is evidently from things I'm hearing out there when I watch videos and read and follow trends, Whimsigoth is a whole to-do. It's a big deal, and it's a keyword you need to be using, and it's a trend you need to be looking for. I don't have as much of this because I do spend a lot more time on the academia and the old money and the preppy. That's more the type of styles I look for, but I'm trying to be more inclusive and play with some of the more fun fashion, the things that younger people are wearing because they buy a lot of clothes. Now, Whimsigoth, we've all heard the term goth, and it's dark and it's, you know, kind of like witchy or whatever. And Whimsigoth implies that there might be a little more fun to it. So it's not as dark maybe, but a lot of it has asymmetrical lines. Like this hem is asymmetrical, and it's just a black top, and it's pretty basic. I mean, some are a little more interesting than this, but honestly, who doesn't need a black top? And because the bottom is kind of fun, you could put a neat belt around it or whatever, but this is definitely can be considered Whimsigoth because of the asymmetrical hem and the dark color. Okay, here's one that's a little more fun. I think it's got the bell sleeves, which is also Whimsigoth, and people seem to like that. It's also got the asymmetrical hem. And instead of being quite as dark, there's a little bit of beige. It's almost got a little bit of a slight leopard kind of pattern to it. But that's Whimsigoth, definitely. And the sleeves are really fun. And then this one has got the velvet burnout, which is very popular. It's where there's some velvet and then there's some burnout patches on it, but also the bell sleeves. Okay, a dark color, it's like a dark burgundy, so it's not as dark as black. Everything's black. So I think this definitely qualifies as Whimsigoth. And you could take any of these tunic tops and extend them into dresses, and you've got a Whimsigoth dress. I didn't have a lot of pieces to show you in that because that's not something I have a whole lot of pieces on, but I'm looking for them. And as I find them, I'm buying them. And actually, they do sell quickly. I have sold quite a bit using that keyword. So that keyword is good because what you have to think about is you have two ways to get people to your listing. One is with the brand name and the other is with keywords. So in lieu of having all the most popular brands, you got to have those keywords. And that's the way to look at it. How am I going to get my buyers to my items? And you've got to use one or both. Both is great. If you can find a great brand with these aesthetics, you're in heaven. But you can't always do that. So a way to keep things moving and keep your inventory built up is to use the aesthetics. It's very, very helpful. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is academia. There's light and dark academia, which was kind of interesting to me. And it's just a matter of darker clothes and lighter clothes. Okay, I used this one last week, but it's kind of a preppy, also could probably fall in the old money category, although I don't know, probably not, but definitely academia. Okay, I would call this light academia. It's a Joseph A. Bank. But it's got the cool elbow sleeves. It's a gray with just an extremely understated plaid kind of, you can barely tell it's got any plaid in it, but that's academia, definitely. I could see one of my old college professors wearing this definitely to class. I could definitely see that. So I'll just hang that up here. Okay. Corduroy, always academia. Okay, definitely a nice piece. It's corduroy. I would definitely put light academia on both of these. I would put light academia. I'm not even sure I have the dark academia. I guess that would be much darker, although this could probably go either way because of the gray. But corduroy always screams academia to me. And I don't happen to have a plaid skirt, but if I did, I would definitely label that academia. Or if I had like the little sweater vest, which I don't have those either. Okay. Now this, I love this. Definitely academia. You got a tweed sweater the cardigan. You know, it's a cardigan. And I could definitely see one of my college professors, he might have a tie on under it, he might not, or a button-up shirt or a button-down shirt. But this definitely, because of the plaids in it, definitely screams academia. So I guess the important thing to realize is, with so much competition, it's going to be so important that you get enough visitors to your listing. And the only way to do that is with your title and your description. And from what I understand, you should be putting these words in both your title and your description as a way to bring more people in, so that you're not completely relying on good luck, on your absolutely perfect luck to find affordable pieces that are brand names. That's a tough way to go. And most of us have a hard time doing that. It's challenging, especially the affordability. I mean, you could find it. You could go online today and find them, but I don't know what price you're going to get them at. I've experienced a lot of people shopping me where I can tell they're resellers. You know, it's like, and they're trying to beat me down on my price so they can buy it and resell it. And I'm thinking, why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. But that's just the way it is. So I wish you the best of luck out there. And I think that as long as we stay up with the game and what the game is, as it evolves, it's always evolving. But this is one evolution that will really make our life a lot easier and a lot more fun. Because I know for me, there have been days when I was hanging onto those brands for dear life before I started doing the aesthetic selling and using the keywords as much. And I would beat my head against the wall thinking, how am I going to do this? I can't find enough stuff, you know, that's at a good price. And I mean, enough of a price to flip it and make money on it. And then I was awakened to the idea of aesthetic selling, and it's made a big difference for me. And I hope it does for you. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Give me a like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'd appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.